The foundation's role in the first 10 years was one of growth. It was very small. The staff was John Oliver and Sue Lett. They really set the stage for growing the foundation and involving the community.
It's really been interesting and been amazing to see the foundation grow over the past 25 years. You know, it's one of those organizations that touches almost every aspect of life in Walker County.
We tackle transportation, we tackle health issues, tackle education issues.
The feeding programs, the assistance with mental health, the assistance with the Wi-Fi hotspots. I mean, I could go on and on of the things that the foundation has provided the funding and assistance with.
But we're so much more than that.
It's not only a financial impact that the Community Foundation has on our grant recipients. We want to be their partner. We want to help them to be the best version of themselves that they can be.
The greatest impact of the Community Foundation is being whatever is needed at that moment. It might be an encourager, it might be a networker, it might be a cheerleader.
A lot of times I just call the foundation for advice.
I think a lot of foundations are people give money, foundations write checks. And the Walker Area Community Foundation is so much more deeply engaged with what is really going on. It's not just a series of let's look at these grants, let's see which ones sound good to us, but it's analyzing problems, coming up with data-driven solutions. I can't imagine the vision that those who started this foundation had at the time they started it, because I don't think you can drive a block. I don't think that you can turn around in this county and not see or feel the impact of a program that the Walker Area Community Foundation has funded.
So let's go back up and look at the storm that is in Walker County. This is potentially a very violent tornado. It is a direct threat to life and property.
April of 2011, the tornadoes struck our community and were so devastating to so many people.
It's crossing the interstate right now. This is a large tornado.
All right, we got a large tornado crossing I-22 at Cordova, and this thing is just extremely, extremely violent. It's coming through Dora and Summerton now.
We convened the foundation board in the first 24 hours and said, our community is destroyed. We have people walking the streets in South Walker County without water, without food, without shelter. We made a conscious effort to step up and try to manage that. And that led to a change in thinking and a change in our mandate.
Walker Area Community Foundation came to EMA and said, where can we help? What can we do? They were over volunteer reception. They assisted with feeding. They assisted with donations. They assisted with every single facet of what we were trying to accomplish to take care of our citizens.
We saw ourselves as the convener of all of the disparate groups that were out there looking for somebody to go to and say, where do we go with this? That led us into a program or a plan, and that's where we are today, implementing that plan.
Up here, this is a tornado warning for Walker County for the possibility of what could be a tornado near or north of Jasper that's moving northeast.
Sitting there watching TV and James Spann on Channel 6, and he's telling us we're going to have some bad storms. Usually I don't pay no attention. You know, it's going to be what it is. And I had that uneasy feeling that day.
The object today is to give people in mobile homes a chance to get to a community shelter. And remember, the governor of the state has declared a state of emergency, suspending the COVID-19 orders.
I don't know what happened so fast. And the roof raised up off the house and came back down.
I grabbed my dog in the bathroom, we dove down beside the tub and trailer. It picked up, and by the time it picked up, by the time the tree hit, it slammed it back down.
And it was over.
About 5 seconds it was over with, but it was rough 5 seconds. I didn't know if I was bleeding to death or what. It took me a few minutes to realize what was going on.
I sat here and cried. We lost just about everything we had. Didn't know what to do.
Walker Area Community Foundation actually called EMA prior to the event And that was the first phone call after the event to say where we needed, what can we do, where can we go. And they assisted us by setting up volunteers to go out and do assessments on the structures that were affected by the storms.
We followed the storm track through Walker County and identified 108 families that had been affected.
Chris and Carla came the same day. They got me some help.
Once we got through that initial phase, I was contacted by Paul Kennedy about working these cases for the Long-Term Recovery Committee and began a 2 to 3 month process for some of rehousing some people.
The homeowners that we help don't know where to turn. We were able to go out as case managers for the foundation and talk to them and explain to them that we were able to help them to rebuild their homes, repair their homes. And the foundation provided the funds for all the material to where we could do this. They were able to become safe, sanitary, and secure again.
Oh yeah, we are excited about getting a new trailer. Great grandkids are really excited. They had to have their pictures made in the trailer. We can't wait to get moved in.
Had we not showed up, no one would have showed up. She wouldn't have a home. She wouldn't have had a home at all.
If it wasn't for the good Lord sending them to us, I don't know what we'd done.
What most people don't understand is without the foundation behind this, without that monetary support of the foundation behind this, without the knowledge of disasters that the foundation has gathered from 2011 forward, 2011 being a big learning curve for all of us, none of this would be taking place.
I couldn't believe when they told me, you know, but we're just gonna get you a new trailer. I can't wait to get in it. Yeah, I can't wait to get in it. It's a pretty beautiful trailer. I don't know how to explain it. You know how goosebumps was on the back of your neck? Well, that's the way it is right now.
The ones that really made it happen was the foundation, was Walker Area Community Foundation.
They come in and they help put their lives back to the way they were pre-disaster.
There's just not another means by which to accomplish these things.
Chris and Carla is welcome to move in with me anytime they want to. I mean, I don't know how to explain it in words. If it wasn't for what they've done, I'd be out there in the back of my truck, I guess. You know, it's just, it's good Lord watching down and sending his angels to me is all I say about Chris and Carla, you know. That's my angels on earth. And James Spann.
My wife and I own Bernard's Store for Men here on the square in downtown Jasper. The impact the Community Foundation has made downtown has been absolutely phenomenal. You know, at one time I was looking around and in every direction you look, there's empty buildings. Jasper Main Street came in and it just transformed the whole downtown area. When you have everybody on board and the team is all working together, including the chamber and the city and the county and the Community Foundation and all the downtown businesses, you can't help but be successful.
The Community Foundation was the founding contributor to Jasper Main Street, and over 5 years, people have invested $5 million into real estate, 110 new jobs, 24 new businesses. That's because of the movement of Jasper Main Street, and the movement of Jasper Main Street only happened because the Community Foundation picked up the gauntlet and said, let's do this.
I've always been interested in history, and of course, I love Walker County. I love the history of it. Bankhead House and Heritage Center really exists because of Walker Area Community Foundation. They bought the house, were able to go in and remodel the whole house. They did the grounds around the house. It's just been a godsend from the foundation. We have one of the premier places in Alabama for people to come as soon as we can get back opened up. We're going to preserve the history of each community.
Raising Arrows is a nonprofit feeding program. We feed children all over Walker County. We partner with city schools, with city officials, organizations that will give us opportunity to give out food. So when COVID hit, we were left with feeding all of these children, not just after school, but the kids that were no longer in school. Not only that, there were a lot of parents that no longer had places of employment,
Right.
and they were in dire need of food.
Our function turned towards making sure that our children were able to be fed while the schools were shut down. The Walker Area Community Foundation reached out to EMA and said, how can we help? They were actually our first phone call in response to how we would help our citizens and our children during the pandemic.
When we started serving, the numbers jumped drastically because there were so many children no longer in school.
And immediately, we're now feeding 10,000 kids and people a week where we were feeding 1,000. We were doing this just on our own, on an island all by ourselves. The foundation then dropped everything, gathered all of us, and said, okay, this is the mission. We've got kids, they're hungry, and we've got something that needs to happen.
We had volunteer agencies, feeding teams, the schools involved, local law enforcement, the mayor. We brought all of these entities together to meet to figure out how to immediately respond to the situation so that our children wouldn't be without their hot meals each day.
The foundation did not hesitate.
No.
It was immediate, it was quick, and it was exactly what we needed.
March 16th was the beginning of COVID conversations for us. Totally unprecedented, no playbook for it. We had to figure out quickly what we were going to do to continue to keep our kids fed. Dwayne and Jennifer Lee came to talk to me about providing that service for us through Raising Arrows. They were willing to take that on if we would just provide the food and the commodities for them. Absolutely, I said yes. What a blessing it was to have them come and offer that service for us.
And we wouldn't even have had the partnership with the schools and with the city officials had it not been for the foundation.
The foundation
Brought unity in the county.
and brought us into a community that then began to help us as we were trying to make this thing happen.
The volunteers across Walker County, they really stepped it up. We had curbside delivery across 11 different distribution sites.
St. Mary's went from doing one day a week
to every day giving out bags.
They're sending groceries out to the different sites.
Distribution sites of our sites.
Right.
Not even their sites.
Right. Just to love on Walker County.
And Backyard Blessings, they went door to door
and
delivered their non-perishable bags. There was a camaraderie between the foundation and all of the nonprofits to where there was even an emotional support.
Yes.
It was just a community and county effort that everyone participated in.
I'm the director of the Salvation Army in Walker County. Our social services feed our local seniors, anyone over the age of 60. We deliver food each week. The foundation helped us to lay out a program to help pay bills for the folks who have been laid off or have lost their job due to COVID-19.
The Foundation's furlough program with COVID-19 was designed to help people that have never needed assistance before. We were able to assist families that had lost their jobs due to the COVID or were laid off or had reduced income due to the COVID. And that money has went towards direct assistance for those families.
We had to figure out quickly what we were going to do to continue to provide instructional services for our kids. One of the major elements of that was the lack of broadband that exists in the outlying rural areas of Walker County. Of course, that becomes expensive, and there are monthly fees that are associated with Wi-Fi access. So we asked the foundation if they would assist us in providing the funding for our fees, and of course they did. So that will allow many students in our rural areas that have the lack of broadband to have the proper connectivity.
And I love that about the foundation. It's not just about what they're doing, it's about how can we help you with what you're doing.
the foundation said to us, we're committed to you because you're committed to Walker County. No one has made a commitment to us like the foundation has.
Nobody on planet Earth has ever been through this situation that we're all walking through. And the crazy thing is, we don't know what's going to happen after, but we know we're going to be ready.
If something like this happens again, it's not a question of can we, it's when are we? This is just the beginning.
You know, our youth advocacy program, YAP, we've had a partnership with them since the inception. So Tina Aaron, through YAP, we sat down with her, we talked about trauma-informed classrooms. Working through the foundation, they provided the resources for a child psychologist and behavioral interventionist, which was Mr. Anthony Sellers.
So I work with kids who have trauma in their life, and that trauma can offset their path to become great. And so what I do is help recognize that trauma and work with them one-on-one. When a child builds that connection, it can redirect their path and set them up for a future that they didn't think they would have. That, to me, is the most exciting thing, is being able to say, I'm here for you, I see you, and I'm with you all the way. Luckily, we have the Walker Area Community Foundation. They make a way for us to reach in and say, we are coming for you because we see you.
My name is Sheree Fluker, and we started the organization in 2017 in honor of Jalea Heckman. We started off as an after-school program. We do tutoring, ACT prep, career development. In starting the foundation, we didn't know which way to turn. We just knew what we wanted to do and we were going to do it. Somebody put me in touch with Pam Fikes at Community Foundation, and she has helped us with knowing what to do, which areas to turn, resources. They were able to fund us as far as getting us our own building, our startup equipment, and basically everything that we have.
The Community Foundation gives us, Youth Leadership Walker County, they give us $10,000 every year to go out and allow different organizations to apply for a grant in order to help better their foundation. We don't have to cross oceans and cross continents just to find problems. Like kids and families, they're in need here too. And I just think it felt great to be able to help them and give back to the people in our community.
At First United Methodist Church, we have a ministry called Hope Kitchen. And on Tuesday and Thursday, we serve a hot meal for anybody that wants to come. There's no condition to it. There's no income requirement or anything like that. We went through a time when our numbers grew really large, and it was making it difficult for us to handle that budget-wise within the church. That's when I first reached out to the Walker Area Community Foundation. They gave us a grant which allowed us to serve all the people that were coming.
We consider the Family Service Center to be a one-stop social service center in that somebody can walk in our door and tap into a lot of different resources, from parenting to education, literacy, emergency services. In the beginning, the foundation gave the center money for startup. So the Jasper Area Family Service Center would probably not be in existence if it wasn't for the foundation.
Walker Area Community Foundation has provided the seed money for various things that the library needed. This year, the Community Foundation provided grant monies to replace the 9 heating and air conditioning units on the building. So this grant has allowed us to have a very comfortable environment for all of our patrons when we reopen. But we're very thankful to that because some of those units were actually 42 years old and inoperable. So this has been a wonderful addition for us.
Started using drugs right after I gave birth to my first child. Postpartum depression, trying to numb anything that I could. Of course, went downhill from there. Had drowned in the bathtub with my 3-year-old in there with me. Gotten arrested several times, and I started using more and more until, I was gonna die.
We have a lot of problems in Walker County, but I don't know of one that's any more significant than opioids, because it just permeates through so many different levels of society.
Here in Walker County, we've had a lot of pain medication prescribed for our workforce. A great majority of them, that was their first entry into opioid addiction, was through pain pills.
A study came out, and Walker County seemed to have a more significant issue than anyone.
I was in jail, and then I had to get out and go to a halfway house, which is the only kind of recovery we have in Walker County, and I wanted to be in Walker County for my kids.
We've been worrying about and talking about the devastating effects of drug abuse in our families, in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces. And like many other people, I want to do something. I want to fix it. I want to make it better. But I've never known what to do. Where do you start with a problem like this?
We always looked at it and thought, well, it's too big of a problem. There's nothing we can do about it. And we finally said, if not us, who? If not now, when?
Capstone Rural Health Center, the Community Foundation, and a number of other partners had secured a grant to figure out how to address the opioid epidemic in Walker County.
Working together, we're able to bring Rachel on board to help put together and work on this plan.
We put together a cohesive plan, approached it from a holistic perspective of we have to treat the whole person and the whole family and the whole community if we really want to change the way that behavioral health looks in Walker County.
Helping people that have fallen into addiction, we've got to attack the underlying issues, rebuilding family relationships, transportation, housing, employment, education. You've got to give somebody reasons to want to live and be drug-free.
I was so very impressed with the work that the foundation had done. My colleague, whom I love very much, Senator Reed, we sat down with the Attorney General. It was just the most well thought out, logical, reasonable flow, how to attack the problem from every imaginable angle, and some real world, very practical solutions.
I think that Attorney General Steve Marshall was impressed by the plan that we put forward because it is ambitious and as big as the problem that we're facing in Walker County.
The Attorney General called me and said, look, I was so taken with what the foundation had done that I shared it at a meeting with attorney generals across the country. People are really duly impressed with the work.
It was clear to him in hearing what we are prepared to do over the next 10 years that we are ready to be a model of how to respond to it.
My life as a mom is awesome today, especially from where I was before. I have 5.5 years sober. It took me a long time to realize that my behaviors weren't normal, that I didn't need all those medications to make me feel normal, and it took programs to help me deal with stress without having to get high. I'm a certified recovery support specialist. We use our lived experience to help others find recovery that are seeking recovery. I try so hard daily, to advocate for people in recovery or seeking recovery because it is possible and we can be productive members of society.
So for someone who's been highly involved in a recovery process as going through rehab, to come here and see how involved the foundation was with bringing all these different aspects and views to attack addiction, it just shows that y'all have the best interests of the county at heart. And sitting at those tables during foundation meetings is people's hearts breaking for how much this county is hurting in certain areas, especially like addiction. And it's amazing to be a part of. It's an honor.
Walker County still has a lot of healing to do, but they have healed a lot from where we were. I mean, I have just seen so much so much happened in such a short amount of time. It gives me so much hope for what lies in the future of Walker County.
We have a plan. Now we know what to do, and together we can make it better.
It will take all of us, though. We need everyone in the community to be compassionate, to communicate around this issue, to step forward and figure out how they can help and how they can be a part of the solution, which I know will absolutely come to fruition and change the way Walker County looks.
When the CHS Activity Center opened in late summer of 1997, the Walker Area Community Foundation graciously offered to help us expand and grow our senior programs. Our senior size program, Low Impact Aerobic Exercises, was very popular with our area seniors. After a short period of time, the Activity Center became the hub of activities for our area seniors.
I've been able to work closely with the foundation. They fulfill a need that otherwise we would not have resources for. Largely our therapeutic recreation programming, the Aquanauts and the Dream Team, and the foundation has also helped out with our swim team with some much needed equipment.
The Walker County Health Action Partnership is a coalition of individuals, agencies, and organizations working together to make Walker County a healthier place to live, learn, work, and play. The Walker Area Community Foundation supports the Health Action Partnership not just monetarily, but also with the leadership that it provides and the connections and roots into the community.
They've helped us to move away from the individual impact model and move to a collective impact model where all of our different organizations are aligned and working together. With the Alignment, a Slow Spokes program has just mushroomed in our community and has given the opportunity for people of all ages, races, abilities to participate in a bike ride every Tuesday. And the bikes from the foundation through Jasper Main Street has really been an integral part of getting people on bikes and in downtown Jasper. The foundation really had the vision to see that outdoor recreation was our future.
Thinking over my history in Jasper. I was born there. My parents still live in the same house that I grew up in. Lots of fun memories from a great childhood in Jasper, playing Little League Baseball, going to church at the First Methodist Church. There are many little milestones along the way that make me smile as I drive around town today. I went to Walker High School. I had the opportunity to go to Walker College, now Bevel State. I started to notice this young lady driving past campus from time to time. And we talked a few times and went out on our first date, and here we are today, 19 years later. Finished at Walker College and left Jasper for Tuscaloosa to pursue a degree in finance. I graduated from Alabama. I got an offer to go work in Birmingham. Prayed about it and decided that was the right approach. We moved over to Helena. We've gotten heavily involved with the church at Cahaba Bend. I got plugged in with youth ministry there. I joked that I was the pizza getter. I was willing to go and willing to stay up all night and willing to eat the junk food. And a dear friend came to me and said, "You and Ashley need to become the interim youth directors." 3 years later, we're still the interim youth directors, but we love it.
They've taught me so much, just how to be a good role model, how to be responsible, how to think of others before myself.
They definitely have helped guide me in the direction of becoming more of an adult.
Ashley's actually like a second mom to me. I go to her for almost everything.
She's just always kind and will always be there for me whenever I need somebody to talk to.
As we looked at our own situation, we decided that it was important for us to branch out beyond Helena, beyond Birmingham. And it was not that we were abandoning what we were doing in Helena. It was how do we spread our resources further and how do we have a more positive impact on other communities. We believe that it was important to focus part of our efforts on Jasper. Where did we come from?
Even though they have established their life with their young family in the Birmingham metro area, Walker County is a part of them, and they want to continue to be a part of Walker County.
After some research, I decided I was going to contact Paul Kennedy, and he was great to share a very clear vision for how they were going to take the resources that were entrusted to the Walker Area Community Foundation and start to change lives in Jasper. Paul said, hey, would you be willing to sit in on the grant review committee? I'm involved, I'm engaged, we've been giving to the community fund, I want to learn some more, I'm in. Multiple occasions, Paul had mentioned a donor-advised fund where you can set aside a pool of money and you have the ability to divvy that money out to various charities. We had the choice to fund that over time.
Matthew and Ashley have established a donor-advised fund with the Walker Area Community Foundation, and I'm very excited to see where it will go.
The Walker Area Community Foundation, it is the exact definition of collective impact. Seeing donors around the community come together and pool their resources to take on larger challenges and also to allow their gifts to go further. You have the ability to tackle those bigger projects, those bigger needs by working together with others. As donors and supporters of the Walker Area Community Foundation, Ashley and I believe that the greatest accomplishments of the Community Foundation are not those things that we've accomplished in the past, but those things that we will accomplish in the future.
I think you would see a massive difference here if the Community Foundation wasn't here.
Without the Walker Area Community Foundation, we'd still be struggling to feed hungry people. We would probably still be struggling to recover from tornadoes.
I don't know where we would be without them stepping up. They step up first. They're during the middle of the event, and they're the last ones out assisting our citizens at the end of the event.
Literally, if you took the foundation out of this, if you took the foundation funding out of this community would have holes, would have gaps everywhere.
Without the foundation, so many of these groups that are helping people who really are in need, they couldn't do that.
And I don't know where we would be without the love and compassion and assistance that we receive from Walker Area Community Foundation.
We're able to meet needs that we simply could not meet without it.
So we are very blessed in Walker County to have such an organization.
It takes everyone. We're on the front lines, but it starts with the donors.
They make such a positive impact on the lives, the quality of lives of people. That's why I choose to be a donor.
And really, any level of giving is going to help an individual in this community.
I feel like this is the most effective way for us to have an impact on the community.
We're put here to make the community better when we leave it than it was when we came in, and boy, the foundation has been unbelievable in that area.
When we're all gone, I truly believe that we're going to be able to look back and know that we made a difference.
And we are at a point where we can be more impactful than we've ever been.
I think it's going to do nothing but get better and better and better.
And I thank Mr. Oliver for the foresight 25 years ago, along with the other board members, to create the foundation. Because together, we're stronger than we are just by ourselves. You can make a difference.
You can give your money to all kinds of places, and they'll write you a nice letter and thank you and maybe even put your picture in the paper. But my thinking is that you should give it in the town where you live, where you can see the needs, and then you can walk down the street and look around and say, I helped make this happen.
and James Spann.